everybody. Hope you're all well. So, today I would like to talk about failure, specifically in regards to clients and business. And we're going to do some clearings based on this theme as well. So, I'm just going to give people a moment or two to join before we get started. Okay, I think we'll jump in. So, here's the thing that I have noticed. If there is something that is stuck in your life or in your business, usually it's because you have an unconscious commitment to failure, or you have a number of commitments to failure. So, guys, let me know where you're joining me from. Okay, because if you are truly committed to creating something and your energy is in alignment and you are using your awareness, hi Sabina, how are you? You are using your awareness in your business with your clients, you cannot fail. Hi Gina. So if you are experiencing failure, hi Heidi, so guys, let me know. What are the ways that you are experiencing failure in regards to clients or business? And if you don't have a business and you'd still like to receive the clearings, you can look at it from the perspective of, some other element of your life, perhaps your career. So if you do have a business, you might think about something that you would like to grow. So it can be your client base, it can be about reaching ideal clients, it can be about your events, it can be about your products, it can be about something else. So let me know what that is that you would like to grow. That's the first thing that I have to ask you. So then I would like to know if you are committed to failure on some level. Here's the thing, if you are not growing something on some level, there probably is some kind of commitment to you failing. So everything that's not allowing you to recognize all of the places on every level where you are committed to failure, can we let that go? Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, transform, you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So someone is saying business, so I'm curious to know, what is the area of business specifically? What is going on with your business? Please pop in the chat. So here's what I have noticed. So I'm going to give you a personal example. So for me, one of the patterns that I've had to work on a lot is working. So literally I would do class after class after class, and I would have a lot of clients in between, and there would be webinars, and there would just be a lot going on. So literally a lot of the time it was quite rare that I would get a day off. And even when I did get a day off, often I would get people coming to me and saying, look, I desperately need to have a session. So I would go ahead and do the session because I was aware that they really needed it and they were suffering. But what was I doing there? I was not listening to my body. I was overworking, and as a result, occasionally what I would notice, it was kind of rare, but when I did notice it, if something was not going the way that I initially intended it to go, let's say an event or something like that, if it was stuck, when I would look at it, I would see that somewhere on some level I didn't want to do it. And it wasn't that I consciously didn't want to do it, it was because I was really tired. So in a way, there was a value in it not turning out the way I would expect, because then I would be able to get space. So in this case, what I was doing was I wasn't really listening to my body, and I wasn't really listening to what I needed. So literally my energy went no. My body went no. I'm not doing it. I need to rest. So that's just a personal example of how our body and our energy affects our creations across the board. So this can be, again, like I said, specific events. If you have events, as an example, think of one specific event. Or if you would like to grow your client base, you'd like to reach a specific set of clients. Think about that and tell me if there was a value, a benefit, or a reward in it failing, what would that be? So a lot of the time it's unconscious and we have to reflect on it, or we need to ask questions. When we ask questions, what we do is we kind of silence ourselves, and we either go into a space of expansion or go deep within us. And what we can do in that moment is we're able to hear our higher self, our inner voice. Our higher self doesn't have limits, it doesn't have bounds, it doesn't have the belief systems, and it does not have the attachments that we have. So you're able to ask questions and gain insight. So if you were to do that now and ask the question based on that specific thing, which might be past or present, what is it? If there was a value, a gain, a benefit, or a reward to failing, what is that? So everything that does not allow you to be able to gain that information. Here's the thing that does not allow us to be able to access that information regarding our higher self so well. It is where we have a lot of chatter, feelings, thoughts, emotions. It blocks the channels. They act as a clog. They do not allow us to hear our higher self speaking. Our higher self speaks to us through insights, awareness. It can give us direction in our business, and usually what you're going to feel or perceive when it's your higher self who is talking is space, lightness, expansion, and excitement. So all of the things in the way of you being able to communicate and gain clarity from your higher self in general, and specifically in regards to your business, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, which is due from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Because there's two ways that you can operate, two main ways that you can really operate your business. You can operate your business from the space of your higher self, or you can operate it from kind of, I'm going to call it the lower self. It's not less than, but it's just a way to name it, or it could be called the ego self. What I'm talking and referring to here, when we're operating our business from that space, we're using our brain, we're using thinking, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes the thinking can limit you, because here's the thing, when you're using your higher self doesn't think. Your higher self is infinite, knows no bounds, and has knowledge, awareness, and wisdom that you do not have access to when you're using the process of thinking. So the thinking can get in the way of accessing the knowing. So all of the thoughts, the feelings, and everything else that is getting in the way of you accessing the knowing and the wisdom that your higher self has, that can assist you in the growth of your business. Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, choose you from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So then another thing that occurs when we're acting from that ego self or that lower self is we are often getting the information regarding business based on our past experiences, which sit in our unconscious minds and are rooted in our body, which consist of the feelings, the thoughts, the energetics associated with those experiences, and we have all of these references. So if you have a lot of limitations based on your past experience and you are dipping into that to choose for your business, and you'd like your business to grow, chances are it will not grow, or it will not grow to the extent and the degree that you would like, because you can't create based on a limitation. So all of that, let's cause a resolve, dissolve, choose, switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. I'm going to look at some of these comments for a moment. I don't post as I worry it won't be filled. So ask yourself, why do I believe it won't be filled? Let me know what comes through. It's hard to get things done. What is hard? So everything you've decided is hard and difficult, that you are resisting about your business, your clients, working with your clients, that causes you to stay stuck. Les Casa Resolve Disaster switches you from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So guys, let me know what is coming up for you. So we're talking about business, we're talking about clients, and we're talking about other elements of your business, because you don't just see clients. It could be customers as well, depending on what your business is. But you know, if you have clients, you don't just see clients and engage with clients from the perspective of a one-to-one. It can be within an event setting, it can be within many different settings. So looking at the elements of your business or the products that you have that are not working or have not worked in the past, and asking yourself if there was a value, a benefit, or a payoff in them staying stuck and failing, what would that be? Ask yourself and just tell me your first thought, your first feeling, or your first sensation. So I'm going to come back to that in a moment. So just to go back to what I was saying about the different ways that we operate the business. So we can operate from the space of the higher self or the lower self. When you are operating from the space of the higher self, you're using your insight, your awareness. So let's say you want to move forward or create something in your business, or you would like to, you know, reach certain clients or shift your business or grow your business, rather than kind of going into the space of thought process to think up the solution, what you do is you access the knowing of your higher self. You ask a question, and what happens is your higher self will communicate with you through awareness, insight, knowing. It could be in a dream state. And actually what your higher self does is it actually interacts and engages with the law of asking, you shall receive. One of the laws of the universe is if you would like to have something, you simply ask for it and you can receive it. The reasons we do not receive it or receive it as fast as we would like is because we have these unconscious barriers that acts as shields and walls that do not allow it in. So all of those that can come down now could be because the result is actually switches you from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS slices. Your higher self engages with this, and what happens is your higher self works with it to open up possibilities. So when you're working with your higher self, what you create in business is more and more possibility. When you're operating from the other place, often what you're creating is an energy of limitation, constriction, and a lack of growth. So when we work with our higher self, we're working from a space of awareness and insight. You're present with everything, okay? Here's the thing, when you are present and you're using your awareness, you're able to engage with your business on an energetic level. You're able to listen to the whispers. So rather than, you know, choosing based on your unconscious limitations, you actually communicate and dialogue with the energy, the consciousness within your business. So you're able to look at things and you're able to say, okay, well, what is required in order for this to change? What is required in order for this to grow? As an example, the awareness comes, then your job is to put that into action. So everything not allowing you to engage and interact with your business on that level and to take action can make as a result disastrous, which is you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. You know, one of the things that stops us being present is where we have experienced being present as being painful or difficult. So rather than being present in our body and connected to all that is and connected to our higher self, at some point we've actually hopped out of our body. So there is this set of structures and belief systems within you that being present is pain, being present is suffering. So there's a resistance to being present. So all of that, let's start to clear that out. Let's cause a resolve, dissolve. She switches you from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS. I'm looking at some of the comments. If you guys can, you know, respond to me, I'm going to ask some questions. So I wouldn't have to show up. Okay. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about events, and the comment was, I don't even put them up because I'm worried people won't book. So what Heidi is saying here is I don't have to show up. So I asked, what is the value in failing? And she says, I don't have to show up. So then let me ask you, what's good about not showing up? What does showing up mean to you? And what is good about it, not showing up? So that is a reason that we can resist growth in our business, resist working with the clients that on a conscious level we have a desire to work with, resist, growing events, because there's so many different reasons that we are resisting it. And here's the thing, energy speaks, okay? So if you want to create something, a lot of you probably have visions about what you'd like to create, and I'd love to know what those visions are. So if you would like, please pop them in the chat. For those of you who just joined, let me know where you're joining me from, please. So let's talk about that for a moment. So when you have a vision that you would like to create, here's the thing, you can gain the vision from your higher self, because your higher self knows what the highest and best thing is for you in business. So first of all, everything that's not allowing you to be able to gain and access that, and everything that is keeping the channels of communication clogged up between you and your higher self. Hello Bex, nice to see you. Would you be willing to let that go? Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose duty from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So you gain the vision, and then you need to look at, okay, am I being congruent, and am I in alignment with my vision? So when you are, hello Viviana, how are you? So when you are being congruent, what occurs is your thoughts, your feelings, the energy you project, and your energy on an unconscious level is in alignment with what it is you would like to create. Now, sometimes people are very out of alignment. You don't have to kind of panic about that and think, well, it's too much, because even if you just start to look at different elements of what you need to change and, work with it piece by piece. So you need to look at, are my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, and my energy in alignment with the vision that I have? So please let me know. And here's the other thing, where's your vision coming from? Is your vision coming from your higher self, or is your vision coming from your unconscious mind? Is your vision a projection that has been placed on you from society, somewhere else, cultural? So all of the projected images, the projected ideas, and I'm going to call them ideals as well, because there are so many ideals that we have in business, in relationship, about life. A lot of us, we receive these projected ideas. They can be cultural, familial, they can come from many different places in regards to, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to create. They are instilled and impressed onto us, for some of us, before we're even born. Think about it. Your mothers may have had all these thoughts and wishes and ideas for you, or even your fathers, while she was pregnant. That is impressed onto you. That is instilled into you. Would you like to let that go? Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose duty from the source point at all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So there's all of these things that are either instilled or impressed, projected onto us, but they're actually not our true vision. So then part of what you need to do is you need to get clarity on, well, what is my vision? And your higher self has the answers for that. So all things in the way of that, let's cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose duty from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So once you have that, which you can go within and ask, and once you get that, then you need to look at, okay, well, are my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, and my energy in alignment with that? And if not, what is it that I need to change to get into alignment? And all things in the way of you having that information and implementing it. Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose for, choose you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely? So one big component is the unconscious energy that we have. The energetic structures that we have within our unconscious mind, within our body, that have a huge influence on what it is that you are creating in your life and what it is in your business. So then if we look at clients, how many of you have an ideal client? If you do, please give me your definition of that, because this is going to really help me to help you to shift out some of the things that need to be shifted out. What is your ideal vision of your ideal client? So if you have a vision of your ideal client and you desire that, well, you need to look at, well, why do I desire it and what is my motivation? And we can talk a little bit about that later, perhaps. So all of that energy, let's start to clear that out. Let's cast a resolve desire to switch you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So you need to look at what is the vision. Then you need to look at, okay, this is what I'd like to create. Is my unconscious energy in alignment with that? So if you look at it from the perspective of ideal clients, that can again be within different contexts, group, one-to-one, there's so many different ways. Some of them you may not even have the awareness of, the ways in which you can actually work with your clients, your ideal clients, but your higher self knows. So you have to just unlock the awareness. So all things in the way that has a result desire just focuses you from the source point on all levels of your being. Precisely, someone has given a comment, ideal client is someone I can work with easily, things flow, communication and implementation. Okay, give me a little bit more information. What might that look like in your daily life? Do they have specific characteristics? That's the part I'm looking for, because I feel like there's a limitation there, that if you give that to me, all of you, it will help to shift it. So what are the messages and the energy that you are projecting to your existing and your potential clients? Is it like, yay, work with me, I'm here? Or is it, don't work with me, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, there are others better than me, so maybe you should go and find them, or something to that effect? Because if you are projecting that, which a lot of people are, and there's many other messages that are being projected, everything is energy, everything is frequency, and people respond to that even if they are not aware of it. So really what you're saying is, go away, okay? So then you have this desire within you, which you're aware of, and it may or may not be coming from your higher self. That's something that you need to check. And then you have all of these conflictual energies and messages, which creates a conflict. Whenever there is a conflict, what normally happens, if you look at conflict in any type of relationship you have, at any point, what does it create? Let me know. Yes, the second one a bit. Specifically, what is it about the second one, please? Well, here's the thing. It usually creates stuckness. Think of when you're kind of in conflict, an argument, you can't agree on something. Creates stuckness, you can't move forward. So then you have all of these conflictual realities within you that's keeping you stuck. So can we find all of the conflictual realities within you that is keeping you stuck? And all Cancer resolve desire switches you from the source point and all levels of your being precisely. So you really need to look at the unconscious, because what you're doing is you're resisting the clients that you desire. So all the ways that you are resisting the clients that you desire, can we cancel resolve desire switches you from the source point and all levels of your being AWS precisely. Okay. So you have someone saying, how do you clear the confidence imposter syndrome? Yeah, it depends. I can't give a specific answer to that because it's going to be different. You can put a bit more information in and I can see if I can give you some pointers. But it's going to be different for everybody. Someone says, I'm finding it difficult to have a vision for the future as I'm dealing with it now. So here's the thing. Here's a reason we do not actualize the things that we would like to actualize in the present, in the future, because we are so bound up and tied up by what is going on in the now. So then a question to ask you is, who or what is binding me up? And then see what comes through. Comes resolve, dissolve. She switches you from the source point and all levels of your being AWS precisely. Okay, so another comment, if it gets filled, so we're talking about a class here, I have to, an event, I have to organise childcare. From past experience, it's been difficult and stressful till last minute, even if I do arrange alternative childcare. I need to do the gaslighting course. Okay. So what you're doing here is you're telling me all the reasons why you can't do it based on past experiences, which is coming from your, what we talked about, your conscious and your unconscious mind. So you're referencing the past. When you're referencing the past, you are then projecting that into the present and the future. And what you are currently projecting is a block, an obstacle, which doesn't have to be an obstacle. So then everything that you have decided that is a problem, that isn't really a problem, that there actually is a solution to, if you look at it from a different perspective, can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So then it's like, okay, asking your higher self, here's a different way of looking at it. What do I need in order to make this happen? You're gonna get the insight. So if it's childcare, if it's X, Y, Z, write it out in a list. Then asking your higher self, who can help me to do this? Your higher self will engage with the law of asking, you shall receive, to bring in different possibilities. So part of it is looking at things from a different perspective, using different tools that open up possibilities and allowing that to occur and taking action. So all things in the way of that, that's because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, made precisely. So someone else said, in regards to the clients, not reaching my ideal clients, I get to stay in my comfort zone. So then what is the value in staying in your comfort zone? And this is for all of you. And what do you believe, perceive, expect, and project is beyond your comfort zone that you have a resistance to, which keeps you in your comfort zone? Cancer result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So a lot of it is about, here's my comfort zone. So imagine you're in a box, okay? The box is, it's like an energetic box, and this is your comfort zone. When you step out of that energetic box, what do you think is going to happen? So let's imagine outside that energetic box is what it is you would like to create in your business. So then if you could have anything in regards to your business, your ideal clients, your events, what would that be? And what is it that your higher self would like to create? And everything in the way of you having clarity and insight, and that's because the resolve, dissolve, transforms you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So then think of, well, what is it, or gain the awareness, I should say. What is it you'd like to create? What does that look like? If you want to write it in the chat, you can. So then it's like, when I have that, what do I believe I'm going to lose? What do I believe I'm going to lose if I have what I'm asking for in my business? As a result, these actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So why is it that we might be committed to failure in regards to growing our client base, reaching ideal clients, growing events, selling products, whatever it is for you in your business? Here's a few reasons. You might be trying to please somebody, and it can be on a non-conscious level, and it could be even a set of people. So if you guys know how to muscle test, you can actually first of all say to yourself, who am I trying to please, if this applies to you? Am I trying to please somebody by failing? If you get a yes, you can muscle test, or just ask the question. Well, you can muscle test. I am trying to please X by failing. Then ask yourself, why? Let me know. And let's just start to clear out what can go. Let's because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Someone is saying, I'll lose free time. So here's the thing, your mind is telling you all the reasons why you can't do it. Then I have a question. Are these reasons actually convenient? Are they convenient on some level? And what's the convenience? So because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, made precisely, because you can actually say, how can I grow whatever it is you want to grow? How can I reach whoever it is you want to reach, whilst having plenty of free time, whilst and specifying what it is you would like to receive in terms of your target? Because what if you could actually, if you could actually write a list of, okay, well, what is actually taking up my time, and how many people could you get to do that for you? Okay, because there is ways to put your energy in one space whilst also having time and being able to have everything handled. So all of the things in the way of you knowing that and opening up to new possibilities. Can we cancel, resolve, desire, choose, which is you from the source point on all levels of your being, made precisely. Sometimes there can be an element for some people of the mind is telling you all the reasons you can't do it because it's a justification for not choosing it. So all the ways you believe that you have to justify not choosing it, and then really what's below that is what's the value of not having it. Let's cancel, resolve, desire, choose, which is you from the source point and all levels of your being, made of your precisely. So all the bad habits of projecting your past into your future, and all of the habitual patterns, energies, programs, and everything associated with that, and all of the vibrational energies that keeps you in that. Can we cancel, resolve, desire, choose, which is you from the source point on all levels of your being, able precisely. You know, the reasons of why you can't do it can actually be reflective of the commitment to failure. So why are you committed to your business failing? Why are you committed to not having the clients you would like to have? Why are you committed to not having the elements of your business that really you would like to have? All of that, because the result is actually switches you from the source point and all levels of your being and your stressing. Okay, someone says, my inner child feels scared of things working out. These are the deeper issues, okay? The other things are not the biggest issue. Here's the thing, if you have your unconscious mind is very powerful, and if you have conflictual realities within elements of your unconscious mind, it will create issues for you not to be able to have, create what it is you desire. So it can be part of, blocking the childcare, blocking the money, whatever it is that you would like. So then there's another comment from the same person, I would lose my family, I would have to be mature. Why would you lose your family? And tell me what that means to be mature. Okay? So then all the ways you're looking at things and feeling and perceiving and interpreting things from the place of very real experiences, or they might be implanted frequencies that are designed to keep you stuck and small in business and life. As a result, desire switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, age, and precisely. What if you shifted it to, what am I going to gain? How can I see, know, and recognize what I am going to gain? And focus on that. So all things in the way of that, let's cut the result is up. She switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, age, and less precisely. Okay, so I'm waiting for the responses to that about the inner child, afraid of things working out. What is bad about things working out in your business? What is not good about having your ideal clients? Why is it that you would lose your family? And what does that mean? I would have to mature. One quick thing, while I'm waiting for that response, one of the energies that came up was, well, I don't have the money to do all that. So most people believe, and are programmed to believe, that you need money to create. And like in this 3D reality, if you want to go and buy a car, you do need money. But here's the thing, everything starts as energy. Everything starts from an energetic perspective. You know, the things that physically show up in our life and our body, they started with energy. There was a seed that was implanted at some point, and it grew. It grew into things like disease and problems and dysfunction. So all of that can result is actually switches you from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So actually, the energy that you have is the thing that causes you to create, because it's a creative capacity. So you have creative capacities within you to make money. And money is energy. And there are different reasons we shut down our creative abilities, our creative capacities, or we switch them off. I'm not going to go into that so much because I could probably do an hour on that. So there's different reasons that we do that. So all the ways you have done that can be because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So when we switch them off, or we're not willing on some level to have and receive money, or we have a set of distorted beliefs based on experiences that shut money out, you don't receive it, or you only receive bits of it, or you take it in and it runs through your fingers like water. So all of that is because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. But here's the thing, as you let go of that and as you ask questions, what occurs is you open up the capacity to create money. So you can create what it is you would like to create in your business by looking at the vision and using these tools. And then the physical resources show up in some way. But here's the thing, sometimes the mind goes, well, I need it first, but what if you don't? So all the things you've decided, you believe and have calculated that you need before you can have the success with clients, your business, and what it is in your business that you would like to create and generate, would you like to let that go? Can we cancel resolve desire to switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Anyone else have anything coming up for them? So I'm coming back to one of the comments. I need my family. I would need my family. I wouldn't need them anymore. And I would not benefit from their perceived love. Okay, so are you saying that if you succeed, you're going to cut them off? And why would you cut them off? And are you saying that you need to stay in a certain state in order to have, interact and engage and maintain the relationship with your family or your family members? Because one of the comments you said is, I would mature. Okay? So what are the ideas and the definitions, the projections, the projected images, the things that have been installed into you about you that are not actually the truth of who you are, that has created the identity of what you need to be in order to have, maintain the relationships with your family or anyone else? That is a limitation which causes you to bend and twist your innate energy, which is creativity, power, vitality, creation, into a suit that is not you, which cuts off your ability and your capacity to step into the energy of what it is you would like to have, be, do, and create. Because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, precisely. Response is, I wouldn't need them anymore. So are you saying that the relationship is purely built on need? And where did you learn it's built on need? How many of you believe or fear that if you have the success it is that you would like to have and create, you're going to lose somebody? And why would you lose them? Is it actually really true, or is that a projection? Sometimes it is true, but sometimes it's a projection. So can we clear the projections out? Can we cancel resolve disaster, switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely? Anything that is hidden, secret, covert, can we remove that? Can we cancel resolve dissolve, which switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely? Okay, so what's the value in staying small? What have you learned you have to be in order to have the certain relationships? Is it, you know, if you look at some relationships, you'll see that in the dynamic between the parent and the adult child, what the child has been taught is they get love, they get care, they get approval, they get rewarded if they are weak, if they are submissive, if they please, if they are a certain way, which then creates all these definitions that you have to bend yourself into in order to maintain the relationship. And then on the other side of it, it can be they are the powerful and I have to allow them to be the powerful and I have to allow them to be in charge. So you're giving your power away. So then what happens if you no longer give your power to them and say, no, I'm stepping into my power and I'm owning my capacities to create. So let's just start to clear that out and let me know what comes up. Cancer resolve, dissolve. Choose fortitude either from the source plane and all levels of your being and WS precisely. So sometimes we will be committed to failing in the business and working with your ideal clients because you're trying to please somebody, or you don't want them to become threatened. So there can be a fear of what happens if they're threatened. Are they going to harm me? Are they going to leave me? So then you're placing more value and significance on the relationship, which probably has a lot of dysfunction in it, if that is your thinking and way of engaging and interacting in the relationship, and you're not valuing yourself the way that you should. So all of that, let's cut the result is actually switches you from the source plane on all levels of your being AWS precisely. So then part of that is looking at, well, what do I need to step into? What do I need to change? What is the energy that I need to unlock and unleash that is really innate within me, but I have locked up and I have tied away because I have learned I have to be and become something else in order to have this relationship and in order to survive. And then say, hey, higher self, can we unlock it now? So for some of you, it's confidence, it's belief in yourself, it's knowing your abilities, it's knowing your capacity to be able to take care of yourself, because on some level, for some of you, what I'm picking up is there is a sense and maybe a belief that I need them to take care of me, because within that dynamic, there was, let me see how to put this, being incapable was a good thing on some level. Maybe that made them feel important. So all of that could be as a result of desire switches you from the source plate and all levels of your being made of precisely. Would you be willing to give up failing in your business and not having your ideal clients and not creating what it is you would like to create in order to please them? That's because the result of desire switches you from the source plane and all levels of your being aimed of precisely. Can we let go of the projections and the things that you expect is going to happen if you have the success, which are projected things that come from the past that you put in to the present and the future, which may actually be only a ghost of the past and it's not even the truth. Because, people do change too. So have they changed and are you not recognizing those changes? Some do, some don't. But if they have, let's allow you to see that and all things in the way of that. Because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Why else are you committed to not having your business? What's the value in it not working out? Someone said space, okay? So then it's like, how can I have more space? How can I prioritize having space for me? How can I make whatever it is that you need a priority? And then you put that into action, okay? And then things can still grow and build. But then some of you have this idea, well, I can only really focus on one thing. So in order to create, I have to kind of be doing. I have to do X, Y, Z. There's a list of things when actually it's the energy that creates. And it's also about where you focus the energy and where you send the molecules. So let's just allow that knowing to come in. And all things in the way of that, because the result is actually switches you from the source plane on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So then what happens when we are committed to failure? It acts like an energy of destruction onto the business, and it is a destructive energy. So rather than it being creation and life, it creates destruction. And then sometimes we have these belief systems that are running from the past, which the destruction of what it is you would like to create in your business validates. So there's actually a satisfaction in being right. Can we remove all of that? Because the result is I just wishes you from the source point and all levels of your being aimed at precisely. Someone says the benefit is someone to take care of you. Why do you need someone to take care of you? Let me know what comes through there. I wrote a few things down. Let me just see what I wrote down. Yeah, so it can also be about validating someone else's limited ideas and belief systems. So you want them to be right. So who have you made right in your life, or have you needed to be right, that on some level you need to make sure that they are right, and they have conflictual belief systems that are opposing what it is you would like to create. But because you need to validate them and make them right, you destroy your creations and you are committed to failure. Can we cancel, resolve, dissolve, choose, forces you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. And then another reason can be, okay, you have this idea about what you want to create, but you know, you have learned that it's not safe to connect, or it's safer to disconnect, or you have all of these defenses running from your past, which causes you to not engage, not connect, to fear, to hide. So there's all sorts of things that can be going on. So in order to change this, you really need to get present with the energy and ask, what is going on here? And you know, if you have something that you're working on, you can say, well, what is required here in order to change this? You get the energy, you get the awareness, and you take action. So how can you do that, and how can you be committed to your business? Because some of what is going on for some of you, according to the energy that I'm reading, is you're not committed to your business, and you're not congruent with your business, and you're not taking action on your business. So how many of you are like, oh, well, I'd like to create that, but you're not actually doing what is required. So that's just something to sit with. I'm afraid that I will be a loser and embarrassed because of my failure. Okay, so are you saying that the reason that you're failing is because you're afraid of being embarrassed by a failure? I'm not quite getting that. Can you explain that to me? The other fear is I will be a loser. Okay, so then let me ask a question. So, is there an idea that you are a loser within you? Where does that come from? Are you trying to hide that from others? So then the failure is a way to protect you from what you do not want other people to see. Let me know a bit more about that. It says yes, but tell me a bit more if you can answer those questions. What does it mean to be a loser? Where did you learn that? Because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, names, and processes. So all things that you're trying to hide from other people, you're trying to hide from clients, you're trying to hide from whoever you're trying to hide it from, which creates an invisible cloak around you, which is not allowing people to see you, because actually you're far more powerful than you realize, and you know, because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, made up precisely. So what is required here? Here in this specific thing, it's about working on yourself and clearing out the falsehood, clearing out the energetic structures, and really seeing yourself beyond the eyes and the lens of what you thought you were. So when you can solve that in yourself, that's not going to be an issue anymore. So how can you do that, and what is required, and what can you let go now? That's after that is found and that is removed. Because the result is actually switches you from the source plane and all levels of your being, AWS precisely. So all the labels that you have on you, whatever you believe, it means to be a loser. Whatever you believe, it means to be a failure. How many of you have been implanted with the ideas that you are a failure, or people have put sort of like a prophecy over you to fail? Would you let it go? Can we cancel results as options, which is you from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS? So some of you are like, okay, it serves a purpose to fulfill that prophecy because then it's a protection or it's something else, you're tired of fighting. Others of you are fighting that. Both things keep you stuck. Because sometimes you fight people's limitations, their projections, their ideas, their wants, their desires for you, which sometimes they are not good, which is coming from their traumatized self, usually. And you fight it. So you go into energetic battle. That's going to exhaust you. Again, it's something that keeps you in a stuck position, a position of non-creation. So what if you chose to let that go and gave up the battle? And all the fear of what happens if you give up the battle, can we let that go? And everything that created that fear in the first place, let's let it go. Let's cause resolve, dissolve. She switches you from the switch point on all levels of your being, AWS. Then, how? A question would be, how can I create beyond their need, want, desire for me to fail? Their desire, need, and want actually might not be about you. Some of it's about validating their ego that they are right. Whatever it's about, actually it's not really any of your business because it is just going to leak your energy and waste your time. You have to take your energy out of that and refocus. So all of that can resolve desire, which is you from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS. So then everything is energy, frequency, vibration. And we are always in certain brainwave states in every moment, and the changes they fluctuate. And what that means then is you're vibrating at different frequencies and different levels of energy, awareness, consciousness. When you're attuned to a specific frequency that someone else is attuned to, a specific brainwave, then you can merge with them. That means that you can pick up their stuff, that you engage and you become negatively impacted by what they are sending to you. But if you change that frequency and that brainwave, it can change. So then we can ask, well, what are the brainwaves that you are currently engaged in and operating from that causes you to be negatively impacted and dominated by negative intents, attack, ego, destruction? And let's ask that those let go. That's because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS. You guys, let me know how you're doing. How are you feeling? Let me know. So all the ways you're actually rejecting your ideal clients. That's because the result is actually switches you from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS. And you can ask the question, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to change? What is the action that I need to take in order to physically actualize my ideal clients in whatever way, shape or form? If it's one-to-one, if it's a group, if it's whatever. And all things in the way of that is because the result is actually switches you from the source point on all levels of your being, AWS precisely. Okay, so from this call I've realized I have the potential and that others want to work with me. But I've just held back. If I shift into thinking how much I've enjoyed it in the past, I will be able to achieve it and easily manage, okay, any perceived obstacles. Okay, so here's someone said, look, I asked the question, what is the action I need to take? Simply meet and have a conversation. Yeah. So it can be as easy as that. So everywhere you've decided, concluded, it's hard, it's difficult, you don't want to do it. All of that, let's just cancel, resolve, dissolve, just switches you from the source point and all levels of your being, AWS. Okay guys, I would love to know how you are doing. So I just want to let you know today's call live is the topic that we talked about is a topic that I go into in much more detail in my upcoming course, which is taking place on May 11th and 12th. It's an online course and it's about get the clients you want. So this is really about how you can get the clients that you want, and it's about looking at it from a different perspective, teaching you different tools, shifting your energy, clearing your resistance, clearing the lies of I can't have it because I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, they won't want me, all of that. Clearing the past conditioning, attuning your brainwaves to that of what it is to have the success it is that you desire to have. This can be about clients, it can be about customers, it can be about growing your events. It's really any of those areas in regards to your business. So it's a 2-day class, 2-day facilitated class. You are going to receive a lot of facilitation, which you can choose to actually have facilitation one-on-one where we're able to talk to each other on Zoom and I can ask you some questions rather than over the computer, and we're able to go in on a really deep level and shift things out. You are going to learn new tools to actually create what it is you want, and you're just going to make an energetic quantum leap into a different energy. There is a lot more to it than that, but you can have a look at the link. I'm going to share that with you now. Okay, I have to put in the work. Someone says, okay. So you can say, what is the 3 or 5 actions that I can take today in order to create or grow X? Specify what it is, see what comes up, and be committed to that. You might have a little bit of stuck energy behind that you might need to clear, is what I'm seeing. But also we have to recognize, look, I have a choice here. And you can still do it anyway. But when you have the stuck energy, it can feel like you're kind of fighting a current, you know? So all of that. There's a bit more to do, but let's just run a healing statement. Because the result is arches, reaches you from the Swiss point. In all levels of your being made and precisely so you read my mind all the time. Thank you so much. Okay, you're welcome, Viviana. So guys, here is the link in case you would like to join. If you know anyone who would benefit from the clearing, please do tag them or send them the link. Okay guys, thank you very, very much. Have a great day. Bye for now.